This is for you A8 7650K users out there. They set the stock core frequency at 3300 megahertz with a turbo clock of 3.7. Now, some things you want to download before you get started is SpeedFan 4.52. It gives you speed control for your fans. Core Temp 1.5. It will give you your model, what you're running at, and this down here, the CPU 0 is your actual core temp. And you're gonna want HW monitor. TMP IN1 is your socket temp. Those are the two you want to watch. Now you don't want to go over 70 degrees on the socket temp and over 60 degrees, I would say, on your core temp. Now another nice option that I found on this, go to Tools, click System Information. It will show you your processors, and your miscellaneous information, where it shows default frequency 3800 megahertz. So what you need to do is go into your BIOS, disable, well, I will walk you through that. Here's my motherboard, settings, overclock settings, all my information. Go into OC. You want to disable Turbo Core Technology, XMP, Spread Spectrum disabled. Go down into CPU features and make sure AMD Cool and Quiet is disabled, and I set my TDP at 95 watts instead of auto, so it's at 95 watts. Then you can start overclocking right here where it says adjust CPU ratio. On your keyboard, it took some help from overclock.net. They are totally awesome. I recommend going there to look for your overclocking and, you know, general information, because they know a lot. But I didn't know, because I kept pressing the enter button and it didn't do nothing. But on your keyboard, this button right here is what changes that value. So it will start out at that or auto, and you want to go in and up it one at a time. Don't go crazy with it and jump it straight to 4 gigahertz, especially if you don't have the cooling capabilities to do it. Go one at a time. Mine's set there. Press F10, save configuration, and I'm sorry, the sunlight's right in my eyes. Wait for it to reboot. Log back in. Then you want to open CUPZ, HW monitor, and as you see here, it'll give your processor name, code name, max TDP, your core speed, your multiplier, your bus speed. Now, I've been told don't change the base clock frequency from 100 to, mine only goes up to 105. CPU-Net does not recommend changing that. They don't think it's necessary, and just don't do it. Now on CPU HW monitor, what you want to watch is TMP IN1. That is your socket temp. Check with your manufacturer or look up online what the safest temp is for your socket, along with whatever AMD CPU you're running or Intel. Always check your manufacturer or look it up online on what people are running. And adequate cooling is definitely a must if you're overclocking. I just took it to its core frequency because when I first got it, it would run at 1800 megahertz and jump up to 3.3, then jump up to 3.7 and back down to 1.8, and that just drove me nuts. I wanted all cores on the same frequency. And another program you're going to want is Heaven Benchmark. It's free. It's good for testing your overclocks, and also good for overclocking your GPU if you have the capabilities. Speed Fan is another one you want. And you're going to want Prime 95. Prime 95 is totally awesome. You're going to want to run it on small FFTS, maximum heat, FPS stress. Click your little thing, press OK, and it puts your CPUs or CPU at maximum run. And you'll want to watch this to make sure you don't go too hot, and watch your core temp. Every time you go up a slot, run Prime 95 for at least 10 to 15 minutes straight. Make sure there's no errors. Then exit everything out. Go back into your BIOS and up your multiplier one more and repeat process until you're satisfied. Now I'm running the Wraith cooler on this, and so far I have it at 100% and it's not terribly loud, as I have a regular fan in my room, so it's actually louder than that. And I still haven't even seen very hot temperatures. I've gotten to 51 degrees on my, as you can see, 51 degrees on my socket temp, and only 41 there. For the APUs, they recommend not going over 62 from what I've read online, and 70 degrees Celsius for your socket. The lower the temp, the better it's going to run. So later I'm going to be testing if I can do this at 3.9 gigahertz with the Wraith cooler to see how good the Wraith cooler actually is. So stay tuned, and that was a little tutorial for the A8 7650K, which there were no overclocking or anything else that I found online, so that's why I made this video. Thank you very much. Subscribe if you want, and stay tuned for more.